Good stuff. So talk to me. Tell me, who do I have the pleasure of speaking to? I think, is it Jacqueline or Jacqueline?
It's Jacqueline. You can call me Jackie.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So tell me about you.
So I just turned 70 uh on January 17th.
Okay.
I woke
Congratulations.
up.
That is my friend's birthday.
Oh, is it? Wow. Wow. So I woke up feeling kind of strange, and I was talking to the Lord, and I said, well, God, I don't even know how to be 70. Like, that's a milestone. Like,
It is.
wow.
Mhm.
Because I only feel 40, so I'm not sure what to do with it.
Mhm.
And as the day went forward, the Lord helped me understand you can feel 40. You fine, you know. But I am a survivor of childhood domestic violence and sexual assault.
Okay.
Um, but I have a favorite saying, uh, Tiffany, that I tell people: if you ever really feel like you can't make it, I mean, if you get down and it's hard and you just feel like you can't make it, or if you are one of those people that you're not really sure that people can overcome childhood trauma.
Sure.
I tell people from my heart, I mean this: use my life as your baseline,
Oh, wow.
because I didn't just survive, I'm thriving.
You bet.
Yeah, you don't have to carry it. You do not have to carry it.
Okay. How
In
did you
fact,
get over that?
it was never yours to carry,
Okay. Okay.
because any kind of assault against a child is never the child's fault.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, it was never, I tell people it was never yours to carry.
Uh-huh.
We pick it up because we don't know,
Okay. Okay.
but absolutely not.
Okay. How old was you when this situation happened?
It started at age 5.
Okay. Okay.
It stopped at age 12,
Okay. Okay.
except that I didn't know it had stopped. So I still continued to live in fear because I didn't know that it stopped.
Mhm.
But I, I sort of tell people that I think on that day I had taken all I could take and didn't quite understand why any of that was happening to me.
Mhm.
And God gave me the courage that day to run. I always wanted to run, but
Mhm.
I didn't. Once you reach an age where you know something's wrong, this is not a game.
Okay. Okay.
But I ran that day.
Sure. Okay.
And I'm from Long Island, New York.
Okay. You're a New
And
Yorker.
yeah.
Okay.
And so it was the dead of winter, snow
Mhm.
almost waist high.
Mhm.
And everybody, of course, was outside playing in the snow. And I ran for my life. I had no coat, I had no shoes,
Oh,
no
you
hat.
ran for real.
I ran.
Okay. You're
And
meaning like left the house, ran.
yeah, I
Okay.
ran
Okay.
for life that day. And
Mhm.
that's what ended it.
Okay.
But my mother continued to live with the same man. And so that's when I say I didn't know it was over. I
Okay.
was always waiting for him to come again,
Mhm. Mhm.
And I left at age 18. I was done.
Okay.
You know, I was like, I'm 18 years old. You can stay here and take this,
Mhm.
but I'm not
That's for
staying here.
me. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so, I always tell people I used education as an escape. I went off to college
Good.
and never kind of looked back, but the damage was done.
Understood. So tell me
That
this. You could tell me, Tiffany, take it easy. You're asking too many questions. When you said there's childhood abuse, what does that look like? What was it? Or if that's too much, I understand.
No, not at all. So my mother was involved with a psychopath.
Understood.
He was a violent man. And my sister and I used to have a saying. One of the reasons why we thought we could kick A and take names is because we grew up fighting a man.
Okay.
But so he beat my mother brutally, and if we tried to interfere in any way to help her, he beat us too.
Mm.
And he was always trying to rape us. It was like, oh my God. And at first I was little, so I think this is a game,
Mhm.
but you reach an age where you're like, this don't feel like no game to me, you know. And so because I reached a certain age and wouldn't cooperate, that's when he would beat me up.
Understood.
And the day that I ran, he had beat me up pretty bad that day because I just was not gonna let him rape me. And so I fought. My sister actually jumped from a moving car, God rest her soul.
Wow.
And so I've recently released.
When she transitioned, when she moved from the moving vehicle?
No.
Okay.
I lost my sister to ovarian cancer.
Oh, mercy. Okay. I can do it.
Yeah, she was only 52 years old. She was so young, you know. And we started a book by his grace and intended to write the book together, but she passed on, so I wrote the book.
Okay, good stuff. Did she contribute to it in any way?
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit. Like we decided that the first sentence in the book would be the real Amityville Horror lived at our house.
Okay.
It didn't have nothing to do with no movie. You know, but there's a lot of sort of her in there.
Sure.
At least I hope so. And I released the book last year in February. And the book did okay. I was so honored that the first 22 sales were people that I went to high school with.
How about it?
And so many of my friends reached out to me after reading the book and said, "Oh my God, Jackie, I never knew you always were so put together. I just never knew." So that was something that my mother taught us.
So when you ran, what was it that transpired that made you say, okay, I'm leaving, but now, or let me ask it this way. When did life shift for you so that you wanted to become this vessel that you're sharing your story so other people can be healed?
It certainly was a long time ago.
Okay.
When I said to you the damage was done, yes, I went off to college, but the damage was done. I began to use drugs and I was strung out on cocaine for 16 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know, I went from spending a meager $25 to having a $300 a day habit.
Okay.
Yeah.
A day?
Had a horrible life. Okay. But
did you say a day though?
Yeah, $300 a day. Yeah. Okay. That's where I was when I was in my house one day and God delivered me, and I've been clean and sober for 31 years.
How about that? Well, we thank him for deliverance. How about that?
That's why I tell people you can thrive. I promise you, God is no respecter of person. I tell people all the time, he doesn't love me more than he loves you. You can have what I have.
Okay.
And I had to do some work, Tiffany. You know, I had to lay on the couch for 8 years.
Okay.
I had work to do. A lot of bad stuff happened to me, and I had to learn that this is not yours to carry. You were a kid.
Yeah.
You have no blame in this. You know, and also had to learn how to put the shame down.
That's big.
There's such a stigma attached to adults who didn't tell as children. Well, yeah, if you're scared enough, you won't tell, you know. There's a whole chapter in the book about how, you know, he dug my mother's grave and in our backyard, and he told all of our neighbors that he was having a second septic tank installed. But he told me, if you ever tell, I'll kill her.
Oh, wow.
And I'll tell everybody that she left us. And it'll be me and you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was such a sinister man. He was so evil. He was so evil. Oh my God.
Is mom still here?
No, my mom transitioned also. Mom in 96, my sister in 98. And sadly, there were 2 little girls who he was kind of fooling around with their mom. And I guess she trusted him to go to her house. And he went there one night when the mother wasn't home,
Okay. Okay.
and he actually raped those babies.
Mercy. Oh, wow. Where
God
is he
protected
at
him.
now?
He's dead too.
Okay.
I went to the funeral to make sure.
I am not laughing, but that is the way you said it. I went to make sure he gone.
Mm, yeah, my sister and I went to the funeral. Um,
Yeah.
and those poor little girls, and this stuff is in my book, about how their mother brought them to our house, and she said to my mom, "I want to show you what your husband did." And my mother said, "Well, you should know what he can do. You go with him." And she said, "You're absolutely right, and this is my fault, but I want to show you."
Wow.
I will never forget the look on my mother's face.
Mm.
She wouldn't let me come into her bedroom with the lady and the little girls, but I just will never forget the look, how my mother was quiet all day long.
Mm.
Every
That's
now and
unusual for her.
I'm sorry.
Is that unusual for your mother?
Oh yeah, she's never quiet.
Okay.
I got my talkativeness from her,
Understood.
and she was just quiet all day.
Uh-huh.
To tell that whatever she saw was heart-wrenching.
Most.
All the color drained from her. She was very fair-skinned anyway, but it was like all the color just literally drained out of her face.
Mm-hmm.
And there was just an eerie silence, and she was crying, um,
Mm.
because those little girls were so cute.
Okay.
They couldn't have been any more than 3 and 4 years old.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And he was a big man. He was 6 feet tall. He weighed 225 pounds. And,
Mm-hmm.
to rape a child.
That's
But I mean, for years, God kept me. He tried to rape me. I don't know how many times.
right. Right. Well,
But
so when did you turn around? Your turnaround was when you met the Lord?
yes,
Okay. And that was when? What, 30? You said 30 years? Is that what?
1992.
Wow. Okay. Oh, yeah.
Stopped hating him. I absolutely stopped hating him. And I felt a physical pain leave my body
Wow.
and realized that I had lived with this pain in my heart all these years, a physical pain,
Mm-hmm.
And a doctor friend of mine said to me, "Jack, you could have died from that."
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
God is so faithful. He's
Absolutely.
so
Yes, he is.
faithful. He and the more I searched for God, the better I became. I thank God for even my therapist,
Mm-hmm.
my first therapist. She
Mm-hmm.
said to me, "I know when people walk through the door, Jackie, who's going to make it and who's not." And she said to me, "Let me tell you something, kiddo, you're going to make it."
Yeah. Yeah.
And at the time I was practicing Islam.
Okay.
And she said to me, "Well, I want to tell you, I'm not a Muslim. I'm a born again Christian.
Okay.
I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. And
Okay.
that's what I believe. Is that going to be a problem for you?"
Okay.
And I said, "No,
Okay.
I don't, it's not going to be a problem for me at all."
Sure.
And fortunately, before she transitioned, I was able to touch base with her and tell her that I accepted the Lord. And she said, I know. She was so sweet, bless her heart. I was able to even speak at her funeral, her homegoing service.
That's
But
amazing.
yeah, that's when my life started to change.
Okay.
The more I sought the Lord, the better I got.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. I mean, I'm so grateful that you shared that with me. I'm so grateful that you survived. It's
Thank you.
amazing that you're sharing your story.
He
Because
is,
there's a lot of people that don't make it through that.
yeah,
And that stress can cause people to say, hey, I'm over this. I'm done. Life is not worth living. But I'm so grateful that you ran and
right.
that you were able to go. Even in the snow and no coat, you were able to get out.
And a couple of my friends say, "I remember that day.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what was wrong with you. Why are you outside with no coat on?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, um, and a few of my friends, like one of my girlfriends, she, my best friend,
Sure.
she cried for 2 days. She said till finally her husband said to her, "Stop it, sit down. What
Yeah,
is wrong with Jackie?
yeah, yeah,
Something's wrong with her, and you're not telling me."
yeah.
And she she said she just opened the book and handed it to him.
Wow.
And he said he just read that one page and he said, I always hated him.
Isn't that something?
And then she was able to call me, you know, and she said to me, Jack, I can't believe you carried that all those years, never told anybody.
Yeah.
You know, but I was just able, Tiffany, to tell her how much I loved her parents. And I knew her father. Her father was a good man. He would have killed him.
Okay. Okay.
And then what would have happened to her family?
Okay.
You know, and so I just didn't tell.
Okay. Understood.
I
So what would you tell some woman that is hearing you now? What would you share with them?
It is absolutely not yours to carry. It is not who you are. It's what was done to you. The harm was done to you. Don't carry that. Not now. Not when you have the right to have an absolutely remarkable, fabulous life. Just because you made it this far. Yeah, but don't carry that pain and that shame and that guilt. It's not yours to carry. The adult that assaulted you, all of that's theirs. They should be carrying it, not you.
Good stuff. I love it. I love that. What was your forgiveness journey like? Because you said, after you accepted Christ, you just felt the weight come off of you. Was there anything that you had to do outside of accepting Christ?
I had to pray a lot because I hated him and I still wanted to kill him. Now I'm an adult who's run the street a little bit, and I know how to get him dead if I want to. But I thank God when I joined a church for the first time, the Holy Spirit said to me, become friends with the pastors' wives. So there are about 12 different pastors on staff, and 6 of them were married, and I became friends with 4 of the wives. And I was able to tell them what happened to me, and they would pray with me and pray for me and help me understand that God doesn't want you to hold this anymore. That would kill you as bad as holding the secret. Forgiveness is for me, I learned, not for him. Forgiveness is for me. God requires his children to forgive so that he can forgive us when we mess up, and we surely will, because we're human. We're gonna mess up. You know, on any given day, we're gonna mess up.
You're right. You're right. Oh, I love that. I love the fact that you're going through your healing journey. And I'm saying going through because I still believe that it's a continual thing. I don't think that healing is just like, oh, I was healed and that's it. I believe it's continual because there's every day we got to go through the journey of, you know what? Hey, this is another day that I got on top of the dirt and the dirt's not on top of me. So I'm still healing.
Amen. Amen.
Process. I'm so grateful for your process. Thank you so much for sharing your story with me. I'm so grateful. It's not just with me. You shared it with our community. You shared it with the family. This is definitely a safe space. And I definitely believe some woman's life is going to be touched by this. And this is shared with men too. Some man is going to hear this also, and this way turn their life around to realize, hey, what I was doing is something that I shouldn't be doing. Or I had the thought in my head and it's not going to go past the thought. It was just a thought and that's it. I'm not putting my thought into action. So I'm grateful you shared your story. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate you. That I promise you, it blessed me sincerely. I'm not just saying that I am a woman of intentional words. So I'm not going to tell you something just to be telling you something just to flatter you. If my words flatter you, great, but it definitely was heartfelt words because I believe out of the abundance of your heart, your mouth speaks. So if I'm telling you it, I meant it. Even if I cussed you smooth out, I meant it. But that's not what's happening here, okay? I'm so sincere. I appreciate you sharing your story. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for that.
Thank you. I honor you, woman of God. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you. After
So
hearing you, and I heard the passion in you, and I believe somebody's life is going to be changed for that. So
yeah,
even if it's not 100, if you can just impact the one,
just one,
just the
just
one.
one. You
That's
know, I felt completely comfortable with you from the very moment that the audio worked. Yeah,
That's
I am
beautiful.
so technologically challenged. Oh my gosh, but I
It took
keep
me
trying.
some. Yeah, I'm grateful that you keep trying, because sometimes we will give up. I gave up kind of sort of on TikTok. I'm not one to give up. I believe in never quitting, but I had to take a moment. I went on there because I was trying to get my following up, because that's just what you have to do in this age right about now. But in the process of me trying to do that, some lady, she was on there and she was just acting real crazy. And I didn't like some of the choice words that she was using. So I said, I got to take a break from this. I'm giving up this week. This week, if my numbers
Just this week.
crash, I'm all right with it. I will take the crash this week. I'll
know
start
that
again.
you
So
start again next week.
we're going to start again next week. But to hold my peace and so that my light can actually be a light,
Hmm.
I'm going to take a
Yeah,
whole time out. So
yeah.
it's beneficial in this moment that I take a time out. And that's what I'm doing.
I
So
think that's awesome because
yeah,
sometimes we don't know when to say when.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I learned it.
like the lady with the choice words.
Hmm. Hmm.
Sometimes you got to know what to say and what not to say,
Hmm.
when to say it and when not to say it.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
we live in a time where people just don't know anymore and don't care.
They don't care. That's that thing. They don't care. I
Don't
have
care.
never been a careless individual. I wasn't raised to be that way. I think I care too much at times.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I certainly
So
guilty of.
I definitely have a problem with caring. But honest
Yeah.
moment, that's a problem I'm okay with, because I love the fact that I care. I love the fact that I love. I love the fact that I am who I am. It took me a long time to accept that, but I finally did. And I'm grateful of who I am. So,
Good for you. I
yeah.
absolutely believe in that. Took me a long time to find my voice. And
Oh, but what, now that I found it, you ain't gonna get
now
me
that
to
I
shut
found,
up.
yeah, and I'm only going to talk about what's worthwhile. You know.
That part.
Okay.
I so
Thank you so
appreciate you.
much.
You're very
God bless
welcome.
you.
All right. Grace and peace, dear.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye.